Hello, my name is Sebastian Fasius. I'm here with Studio AMB, and today here at SwedenRock Festival with Theravenage.
How you doing?
Hey man.
How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. We just come off stage, so
Yeah.
tired, but yeah, good.
Great to hear. How did the gig go?
Really well. It was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's one of my favourite festivals anyway. But yeah,
Oh.
it's definitely one of the highlights of the tour so far. The crowd were incredible.
So great to hear.
Yeah.
Is it your first time at the SwedenRock Festival?
We played it
Third time?
second time. Yeah, we played it in 2018, I think. Was it 2018?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice
But
to hear.
Yeah, no, this one was really cool.
Great to hear. So, you guys formed in 2009, am I right?
Kind of. It's like the band, like myself and the guy I formed the band with,
Yes.
who's now our manager. We
Okay.
got together and started writing songs in 2009, and we kind of came up with a band name and all the ideas, all these massive ideas we had
Okay.
for the band. But like, it didn't really form. It took us a long time to get the rest of the guys in, and we did our
Okay.
first show in like 2014. So it's
Full-
kind of like from then onwards.
Okay.
But yeah, Wikipedia says 2009. So
So-
Wikipedia's always right.
How did you guys come up with the name Theravenage?
So the Raven Age is based off of the legend of the Ravens of the Tower of London.
Oh,
So obviously, being a British band, we wanted to keep it kind of like a British heritage thing. The legend is even now they keep ravens at the Tower of London, and the legend is that if they leave, then the British Empire will fall. So that's kind of
that's a very cool backstory, actually. When I researched about you guys, I got very different answers to what your genre is. So what would you say yourself?
we get asked this a lot, don't we?
Yeah. Well, so this is like my, I don't know, I suppose biggest pet peeve when it comes to like the genre thing, because nowadays there's so many like subgenres and stuff like that. There's like blah 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 metal and it's just, so we always say we're a metal band. We are because we mix traditional and more modern styles of metal together. So we seem to appeal to like both generations of like the old school who are into like the Iron Maidens, the Metallicas of the world, but then also the younger guys, with the more kind of like metalcore kind of vibes. So it's like a mixture of the two generations. But in terms of like how I'd classify us, I always just say, look, we're a metal band, and that's it.
Yes, in general.
Because then you pigeonhole yourself too much. Because you know what I mean. You're
Yeah.
so restrained. So
You guys try to like appeal to both audiences per se.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's like, especially with the vocals, like we obviously have MJ, and is a clean vocalist, like influenced by some more rock, really. I guess like kind of like classic rock, some metal and stuff. So it kind of just sets us apart from a lot of the other modern metal bands, I think.
Okay. You guys released your first album in 2017.
Yes.
How was the process?
The process of that album.
Developing it per se. I
The
guess.
first album.
Yes.
I mean, that's like it's always a weird one because it's an amalgamation of songs and ideas that you've had since I first started playing the guitar.
Yes.
And some of them didn't make it, but a lot of them were sitting on the songs for such a long time. Like you said, myself and Dan, our manager, started the band in 2009. We were writing from then until 2017.
Because I saw in your discography that you released your first EP in
15.
15,
Yeah. Yes, but we copied and pasted a couple of songs from that onto our album, and we kind of we added some songs to it. But we had those songs for a long time. So once we'd done that, he was like, "Oh shit, we need to do another album like now. Like pressure's on because we're just used to having all the time in the world to write all these songs, and now it's like we need to write like another 10 songs, like." Which I think it's a good thing to have some pressure on because it makes you do it because you can just be lazy and just whatever. But no, it's good to be under pressure sometimes.
Yes. And how's the response from fans from the first album? Did you get
First album, yeah, good. I mean, it's hard to gauge really. I think we picked up like a solid kind of fan base, but like since then we've been through obviously quite a few different band member changes.
Yes.
In particular the singer. So it kind of when we release our second album, Conspiracy, it kind of, in a way, it kind of feels like that's our first album again for me anyway. Like
it was like a restart?
it's like a restart. Yeah, we had like a bit of a rebrand, I think, and it kind of that feels to me like our first album, and that's the one that kind of kept us going, and we've built up our proper sort of foundational fan base, especially over the pandemic.
Okay. Are you writing a new record at the moment or any new projects?
Yes, we have our new album called Blood Omen is coming out next month on the 7th of July. Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind since we signed to a new record label, to Music for Nations, who are part of Sony, in December. And then since then, it's just been like go. We've had 3 singles out now, and that's coming out on the 7th of July.
I'll make sure to listen to it.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys are touring with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
How does it feel to tour with them, and how's the tour going right now?
It's a dream come true because we're all really big fans of the band. Maiden's been a band that I've kind of always, it shaped what I do as a performer, as a singer, as a songwriter. So and I think they're kind of, when it comes to metal and rock music, they're like the pinnacle. It doesn't really go up from there. So we're very fortunate that we played in front of some of the biggest audiences in the world, and it's a huge privilege and a huge honor for us. But the other side of the coin is that Maiden fans, they are very loyal to Maiden. And it's a very difficult challenge to try and win that audience over every single night, because you've got to kind of go into that and go, yeah, we're playing these great shows, but it's not our audience. Maybe 8-9% will know the band and like the band going into that, but the rest you've got to win over. And that's a lot of people to win over, and luckily we managed to do that most nights, I think. Even if it's just by the end couple of songs, we've kind of, but the other thing is, it's that you've got to do that every night. So you've got to be at your A game every single time, because it's the biggest show, but it's also one of the hardest shows I think you can do as a support band. So you've got to just do everything you can to make sure you win over that crowd. And I think, we seem to do it most nights, so that's really good.
Does it go with a lot of pressure going up right before Maiden?
Oh yeah. As I said, it's probably the hardest support act gig in the world. So
it's not an easy one. I think, any big show of that scale and you're playing in front of someone else's fans is like pressure, because you're being judged every second of the set. But you just got to go in it, with confidence and try and put on the best show we can, and make sure we've done our bit and hope for the best.
So, right before the gig, do you guys feel any stress, or do you have any pre-gig rituals you do right before set?
Stress only really comes if there's stuff going wrong, which just seems to have happened quite a lot on this tour so far. Just technical bullshit. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. We have a ritual, don't we? So me and George. So it's a real we've started it now, and we're not superstitious, but we'll feel wrong if we don't do it. Okay. So before I go on stage, I always have a drink before I go, whether it be a beer or a whiskey or something. And George has to have a sip of my drink, otherwise the show will go wrong. In our heads anyway. Yeah. And he'll freak out. We'll both freak out. Fuck, we gotta go on. Where is he? Your drink? Give me a drink. Right, we can go on. Yeah. And you do it. More often than not, it's whiskey, and I fucking hate whiskey, but I have to do it.
You've got to do it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you guys have any inspirations when writing your songs? Any particular band or something?
Oh, influences, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, like what George said earlier, I think the great thing about how we've got this mixture of old school and new school metal styles is we all have different influences, everyone in the band. My influences come from more traditional forms of rock. I grew up on singers like Dave Coverdale from Whitesnake, Zeppelin, Deep Purple, those kind of bands. And but I also love the modern stuff as well, and I think, George, you kind of grew up with Killswitch Engage and Funeral.
Yeah. I guess that's the kind of the crossover. I would kind of, the bands that got me into metal and wanted me to pick up the guitar and play and figure these riffs out were kind of the metalcore scene, really, Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive, bands like that. But I'm also into sort of everything. It's not like I just listen to that sort of thing. But inspiration-wise, I think they're probably the bands that have inspired me musically or guitar playing wise, anyway. But I'm also into epic stuff movie score stuff and Hans Zimmer and Nightwish, bands like that. which I can't, plays a part in our writing process as well.
Okay. You guys have played for a while now in the band. Do you have any tips for newly started bands? Things maybe you guys did wrong, you feel like, and
Yeah, I've got great
got tips?
Don't try and do it as a job. No, honestly. It's just, I think the most important thing is the bigger you get, this is something we found, the bigger you get in the industry, the more people have opinions and try to get involved with what you do naturally. But nobody knows what you want to do better than yourself. So I would always say stay true to what you want to do and try not to listen if advice is good and warranted, but if it's not needed, or if you know what you want more than anyone else. So stick to that and you should be all right.
Yeah. Exactly that.
And don't do it as a job.
I think that's probably the best piece of advice we've had, and would, if we could go back, maybe change a few things here and there, but what he said basically.
So was it always clear for you guys that you wanted to be a rock band, or in your life like children?
Not at all for me. I mean, I always wanted to be a professional footballer. That's all I kind of did. I played football all day, every day, and that's kind of what I tried to do. I had trials for different teams and stuff when I was a teenager. Didn't quite work out. And actually, funnily enough, I was in Norway on trial for a team, or training with a team for a while. When I was like 17, and I had so much spare time. I had my guitar with me and my laptop, and that's when I kind of started writing music, and it made me think, you know what, I'm more interested in this. So I went back. So I left that and I went back home to do an audio engineering course, and then just started recording some tracks and kind of went from there. But yeah, it wasn't till I didn't grow up thinking, I want to be up there on the stage. It's more like the creative process for me is the exciting part.
Yes. So
yeah, I wanted to be a professional footballer, but no, I didn't. To be honest, I don't know if when I was really young. I think I probably just wanted to be a cowboy or something, but then, no. I think when it got to, probably middle school, I was not very. I hated school because I hated being told what to do, and I think being in a rock band was like the ultimate rebellion against that. Plus, I loved music. I was in like a choir, and people was like, "Oh man, you can sing. You should do this." So that's kind of like, I was just like, "Oh, I'm going to do this because people tell me I'm quite good at it." So, and that it kind of just all went from there, and yeah.
Okay, so how was it going into the music industry, and how do you try to stay in it and stay relevant?
Good question. Staying relevant. Well, I'll be honest. Like the music industry in 2023 is a very, very difficult place for a lot of bands. Not just for us, for everyone, because the world is changing. Your record labels and all record labels are kind of like, you've got to be on TikTok. You got to do this, and from anyone that isn't like 18, 19, that might seem like quite a drastic world change, but the world is changing, and I think it's just very difficult to navigate in the current music industry, but we try our best, and I think the main thing is we don't follow trends. We've never done that from day one. We've never followed a trend. We've always come, which is why I don't do the genre question because I hate that kind of pigeonhole thing. So I think what we try to do is stay true to what we like, and hopefully people like it. If they don't, that's cool, but we're cool either way.
So do you guys try to put it out on social media and stay on that, or do you feel like that's not as important?
No, it is important. It's a great platform. Like TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff YouTube is an unbelievable platform as well. They're all just amazing tools, but they shouldn't kind of govern who you are as a band. You got bands that are just famous on Instagram and TikTok, and then can't play a show live. We're old school in the sense that we get our fans from touring relentlessly. We've taught a big touring band, and we've tried to just keep that going as long as possible. And that's how we like to do that, have a real connection with our fans instead of over social media. But again, they both have their merits, I think.
Okay. So it's like a mixture of both.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to end this interview with a bit of a classic. Do you guys have any funny tour stories? Or gigs?
Pick ones that won't get us in trouble, though. I this is like kind of my biggest Spinal Tap moment. Do you know what that, Spinal Tap?
I think so.
So maybe I'm showing my age a bit. So Spinal Tap is this, it's a comedy film based on rock star mishaps.
Okay.
So it's like the ultimate like cliches of being in a rock band. Anyway, it was based on a lot of bands in the 80s, like Maiden and all that. And this was actually not with the Theravenage. I was a previous band that I was in years ago, and it was we just played Manchester in England, and we came, the show the next day was London. It was a packed out London crowd. And for some reason, I wasn't paying attention or something like that. And I came out on stage, feeling great. We'd all just done the hands in, yeah, let's go, rock this show. And then we come out, and I said to a packed out London house, "Good evening, Manchester." And everyone just it was like a pin drop. It was so quiet. I was like, oh, fuck. And then I just kind of tried to like write it out and make it sound like, oh, I was only joking. But yeah, it was like, it was just, yeah, not one of my finest moments. So now, every time I do a gig, I get my tech guy to write on the name of every city, every place where we are, because you'd be surprised to how often you forget where you are in the moment up there. So just in case, written on the set list.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's share.
I mean, it's just a bit. The only one I can kind of think of off the top of my head on the spot. It's a pretty disgusting one, actually. We were on tour. It was in the UK somewhere, and we had a day off. And our driver, at the time, decided to have a few drinks. Got pretty damn drunk, and he had this like there was a toilet basically, which needed to be physically emptied, like in the little driver cabin bit, and he's basically just come through the bus. We're all on it after the gig, and it's pretty damn heavy. Anyway, he's drunk out of his head and just falls and spills it all over himself. And we're parked on a curb, so we're like that. All this about 12 litres of piss has just gone all over the bus, under the seats, under the fridge, and in his drunken state, everyone just wanted to avoid it, so everyone just left. And then he's trying to clear it up himself, and there's just so much of it. Everyone's just like, I'm out. Half an hour later, anyway, he's managed to clear it up somehow, covered in piss, and he just goes back into the club. And it turned into like a disco-like club after the gig, and he just like squeezing through all these people, and was just like, that's one of the most devastating things I've ever seen. That made me just want to not go on tour. That did.
I think we'll end on that note.
On that note,
I know.
Thanks so much for listening, and make sure to check out Theravenage. Bye.
Thank you.